Hey, what's up guys? Sam here. Welcome back to another video. Today talking about the state of iOS 14. My early review after using it every single day on my main phone for well over a week now. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to give you guys a more comprehensive overview than just these are all the cool new features, because there's some stuff that's got to change. Like fundamental parts of the operating system that Apple tweaked that could have been good and turned out horrible. And vice versa, there's some things they tweaked that are the best thing I've ever seen. So if you guys are excited for the video, drop a like down below. Hit subscribe for more, and I think we should go ahead and jump in. So here it is on my iPhone 11 Pro. I got the app drawer going, I got widgets. It's fantastic, and the widgets in the app drawer are where I want to start. I know everybody's talked about it, so I'm not going to touch on it for very long, but they are really great. I'm so happy, so grateful that we finally got widgets, because this has been something that Android has had, I think, since version 1. That, we're getting in version 14 of iOS. We're playing a bit of catch up. But like most things with Apple, they're very well done, and the same thing is true for like the list view or app library UI. It's nice that I don't have to have 7 pages worth of home screen apps. I can finally tuck them away somewhere else, especially for stuff that I need every once in a while, but that I don't want taking up space on my home screen every single day. So Apple killed it out there. Like the engineers, they were on something good, and I don't know what they were on, but it did the trick. And following that is picture-in-picture, which is some more of the good out here. We've been waiting on this forever, and now when you're on a FaceTime call specifically, this is where I've most enjoyed the functionality. You can just swipe up and the person minimizes, and you guys can still have a full conversation while you're also doing something else. Now, I don't know if it's good to be distracted when you're talking to somebody on the phone, but it is really handy, and I've definitely taken full advantage of that already. Next up, I love how stable everything is. I mean, like swiping through mail is just really responsive. Before there'd be a slight lag or delay, you just go now, and the same could be true with pretty much every other setting. It doesn't feel like there's a lag or latency. It doesn't even have to do with internet. It just feels like they upgraded something internally to make things more snappy. And it's subtle, which is a lot of the parts of iOS 14, like the UI tweaks. There's subtleties when you close an app. It's ever so slightly different, and I appreciate that as well. Like, there's a lot of small touches, pretty much just as many as there were big changes. These next two I put in the good section, but really they should be like the God tier section, which is the smaller banners and smaller Siri interface. I love the way Siri looks. At first I was like, it looks a little crowded or cramped, but actually using it, it feels just right to me. I like how it kind of comes up, it's small, and then it minimizes almost instantly when I'm done with it, or you can swipe up to get rid of Siri. Siri is also just smarter. It seems like finally, I don't think they're at Amazon Alexa or Google level yet, but Apple is clearly making progress. They said themselves that Siri knows 20 times more facts than 3 years ago, which is pretty good upgrade, but I still feel like Alexa and Google have just been there consistently forever. And also not directly tied in the iOS 14 update, but attached as new features for AirPods. I really like that Apple is updating these every single year. Like we saw it with iOS 13. I think we may have seen something small for iOS 12 as well. I like that Apple's doing AirPods firmware stuff though, and that in the keynote they even talked about it, because AirPods are a huge product, and it's awesome to see Apple also innovating on the software side of things there. So that's the stuff I love about iOS 14. What stood out, the great stuff. Now let's move on to the bad. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that one of the consistent jokes in the channel has been Memoji. Just every time I talk about them, I gotta goof on them because I personally don't get it. They're fun, they're cool, they're a good time for a couple minutes when you first set up your iPhone. But every year since they've come out, Apple invests more and more and more time into them. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, we get it. They're cool, but couldn't you spend those engineers' time on something else? Like, isn't there another art part of the operating system, whether it's the icons or the UI, that those people could do a good job with? It's weird. Like, they just keep going harder and harder every year. But at the end of the day, it's an animated version of you. And to me, there's so many other things like continued UI tweaks, stability, different art in the health app, just anything that would be more helpful than Memoji. Next up for car key, I'm disappointed that it's launching with tap only. I don't really get the benefit there. The whole point of having like an iPhone smartphone unlock is that you could just leave it in your pocket, get in, get out. What's the difference between having to tap your phone and having a key fob in your pocket? Like, I know it's slightly more convenient, but launching with tap and only like 1 or 2 partners feels a bit rushed out, and I don't really get it. Like, the concept's cool, but it's feeling like that bag of half-baked potato chips where it's like, they don't have regular Lay's, so I guess I'm gonna do the bake today. And rounding out the bad here are app clips. Now, I want to be upfront with you. I think they have great potential, but as we've seen on Android, the feature has been around for, instant apps for a while, and it's not really used. Which is good that Apple is, implementing the technology now, so it's useful in a couple years down the road. But the more I thought about this feature, the more I realized LTE is so fast and 5G is coming out that will allow you to download a whole app in the same time as you get an app clip. So I feel like this feature would have been great when we had 3G or 4G, something more instant. But with a 5G iPhone coming out, it's kind of like, it's going to be the same speed to just download the full experience instead of a smaller experience. And finally, for ugly, I only got a couple things here, but they're pretty big things that genuinely make the experience so much worse. And the first is the new date and time picker. I don't know why Apple removed the most fundamentally helpful part of the operating system, where you could just use a scroll wheel to find what you wanted. I've never heard over the years at one point or at any time somebody say, that's just not helpful, or it needs to be fixed. This is a part of the operating system where some engineer was like, I don't like the way this works for me. And they were like, all right, let's try something else out. I really hope there's either A, an option to fix this in settings later, or B, it's just reverted, because everybody I've seen talk about this doesn't like it. And it's just not as easy. Like to change an alarm, you now have to retype in everything instead of just, I want to wake up 15 minutes from now. You have to retype in the exact numbers you want. I'm telling you straight up, it sucks. It's real bad. And it's got to change because it's just not helpful for anybody. And next up in the weather app, what they're trying to do ain't working, because they bought Dark Sky, which is a weather app that looks like this, and they've already brought one of the biggest features, or a couple of the biggest features, to the iPhone, and it seems like they've got good intention here. But what I'm looking at is the most cluttered version of the weather app ever. It needs a fundamental redesign. They've had the same design since iOS 7. We are 7 versions later, and they're like, we're just gonna keep packing stuff in here. It felt like iTunes to me. Like the weather app is feeling like iTunes, where they're just like down to the minute and notifications and your 7-day and all days. Like that's what a good weather app would be. But in one scroll view, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like Dark Sky had multiple tabs on the bottom for the different functionality. And I don't even know if tabs are the best option, but they're packing too much in here. And it's just at the point where the design looks weird. They've got these great elements like showing you the weather quality or showing you rain, like when it's coming down to the minute. It just looks weird in here, and I feel like they just need to refresh the UI. And rounding out the ugly section, you bet I'm getting nitpicky as ever. All right, why can you mark a message as read in Messages? And they upgraded so many other parts of it, like group chats, but you can't mark it as unread. This makes zero sense to me, because so many times I will tap on a notification, start working on something else, and forget about a text. I know that's on me, but like, why can I do one function, but the inverse that's in the Mail app, you just can't touch? Come on, guys. You're killing me out here. So send it to your favorite Apple engineer at Apple. Let me know if you're an engineer at Apple, if any of this is going to change. Please tell me that date picker's coming back. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new, and I hope you enjoyed this feedback video for iOS 14 to give you a better overview than just showing you all the cool stuff and hyping it up, because there are some things that I do want to see changed. All right, drop a like if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe for more. Catch cool cats in my next video.